I can always tell when business is picking up because crazy things start happening. And this week was definitely an indication that things are picking up because crazy things are happening. Got a call from one of my agents, Jason, the other day, and he had written an offer, accepted an offer on a bank-owned property. He had done the inspection, everything was all clear to close. Does his final walkthrough, and only to discover that a squirrel had gotten into the house somehow. No one knows how. But I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, but squirrels inside houses for periods of time can do a lot of damage. And this one had done a lot of damage, especially to the windows. Now, they're poor critters. They're petrified. They're trying to get out, so they're trying to eat their way through windows. And this guy really wanted to get out because he shredded all sorts of windows and woodwork. So then the question becomes, when you discover this, what happens with this? Because bank's going to say, and the bank did say in this case, as is, as is, as is. So we're not going to do anything about it. And the buyer's upset, and my agent's wondering what to do. So we, when you read the contracts on bank-owned properties, and they're all pretty consistent, they always say that if mechanical systems go out, furnace, heaters, plumbing, if those things go out between the time of sale and closing, that is tough luck. But there also is language in there that says the house has to be in substantially the same condition as it was when you bought it. And in this case, it wasn't even close. So we always try to do the right thing, and first talk with the sales specialist or the other agent in the bank, and try to work something out. And in this case, the bank was really digging in their heels and saying we're not doing anything. So my recommendation to my agent was to, one, tell the bank we are going to go to close. Now we are going to be there, and we expect you to be there. We will not cancel our contract. And if you know anything about contract laws, even though the day of closing comes and goes, that contract is still in effect, and this buyer still had legal interest in their property. And he just said, until you fix this, I'm not signing a cancellation, and I've got all the time in the world. I'm a very patient person. And it does take time to work with banks because there's a lot of layers of decision making that has to go into it, but eventually the bank did send someone out. They took the position and kind of understood where the buyer was coming from, and that they couldn't resell that property again because you can't sell properties twice. And so they did fix the windows. They look great. And by the way, the squirrel, they did do a live trap, and squirrel is out in the woods somewhere living a good life, so it all ended well. But the point here is, when you're dealing with foreclosures, don't be afraid to dig in your heels just because the bank says as is, as is, as is, or whatever they want to say. Now, there is room for negotiation in certain situations, especially extreme situations like this. And secondly, have the patience because it does take time. And if you can afford to take that time, I think there's a good chance you're going to prevail, especially when things get squirrely. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and stop back again soon.